Welcome back. In this video, we will look at some operations we can use with the select statement. So up to now, we've kept things fairly basic, but we also have a number of SQL keywords we can use, and this includes things like distinct, limit, as, order by, group by, and join. And as always, check out the associated link to keep up to date with the latest operations we support. Now, firstly, we have distinct. This operator allows us to return a unique list of values. So if we wanted only the different vendor names returned, for example, so without them repeating, we would simply add distinct before the column name, as we see here. The next one we're showing is limit, and this allows us to just take a smaller sample of our table. So we could take the first 5 examples, the first 5 records, for example, as we see here. And this is obviously super useful when we have large tables, as it helps with performance because you're only returning a smaller subset of the data. Note that in regular SQL, you can also offset with limit. This is not yet implemented in KX SQL, so but do keep an eye on the documentation for that feature in future. Next we have as, and we've seen this in action earlier. This allows us to rename a column, giving it a new temporary name. Order by is how we can sort our table in either ascending or descending order. So by default, it will be ascending, and if you want it descending, you just simply add the DESC descending keyword. And you can see an example, we're sorting by ascending payment types first, and then we just reverse that with the addition of the descending keyword. Okay, group by allows us to group or pivot our data by summary rows. And this is often used in combination with an aggregation function like count. We can see in the example here, we are returning a count of each payment type. And we have the aggregation being selected and then the group by added at the end. Next, let's look at joins. So the joins that are supported are left, right, inner, and cross. And that's at the time of recording this video and creating this course. Again, keep up to date on the documentation to see any newly released ones that may come out in the future. And in order to showcase joins, we need a second table because we're obviously going to be joining 2 tables together. So let's create a few now. First, let's create one called summary. And we're going to do that by just using the group by example we had in the previous section. And then we're going to further select from that and we're going to save that to a new table called cash credit. Great. So the first join we're going to talk about is the left join, and the left join returns all your records in your left hand side table, hence the name, with your matching records from the right hand table added on where there is a match. So if we run this example, we can see our columns have now been added on from our right hand side table where there is a match on payment type. And note, you'll see in the join we're saying the table needs to be joined on the column payment type, and that's what our match is done on. You can also see that any fields where there is no match, so we know we've only got cash and credit in our right hand side table, you'll see that for any other results they are blank. And then a right join is just the opposite of this. So you're returning all your records from the right hand side table with your matching records from the left hand side table added on, and you can try that one out yourself as well. Next we have the inner join, and this returns only rows where there is a matching record in both. So with left and right joins we obviously had those blanks where there was no matches returned, and with inner we just don't get any of those rows returned where there's not a match in both. So let's do an inner join in the previous example and you'll see we don't have any blanks returned this time. And the last join we're going to touch on is the cross join, and this is basically our Cartesian product of the 2 tables. And we'll showcase this by creating a new smaller table called vendors. So don't let this put you off, it's quite straightforward. When we do the cross join, we're basically doing a multiply of the 2 tables together. And we can see when we cross join this new table vendors that we've just created, and we're just creating a smaller table for the purposes of demonstration, you'll see we have a result set, which is the number of rows in the first hand table multiplied by the number of the rows in the second table. So it can help to think of this as the number of rows are being multiplied as shown in this table here. Okay, and that's it for joins. Finally, in this video, I'll just touch on aggregates, and we already seen one of these in action already, which was count. And I just want to mention we also support average, first, last, max, min, and sum. And you can see these in the example below, getting some aggregate values on our various columns in the trips table. Okay, great. Let's pause here and I'll see you in the next video where we will look at what DDL syntax is available for us.